Weyland-Yutani knew of the Xenomorph following the events of Prometheus, prior to the events of Alien. A bold claim? Yes. But indulge me and let me explain this theory in today's video. Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe if you are new here, and please do turn the bell notifications on to stay up to date on the world of pop culture, movie news and movie reviews, and some fun explained videos such as this. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the world of Alien and explain why I believe Weyland-Yutani knew immediately of the Xenomorph following the events of Prometheus. Now, this all comes because I've been doing some videos on Alien Romulus, which, in terms of its timeline, is an interesting one. It sits very, very firmly between the events of Alien and Aliens. Now, Alien was set in 2122. And Aliens was set in 2179. Alien Romulus is set 20 years after the events of Alien and some 30 years before the events of Aliens in 2142. Prometheus is set in 2093 and Alien Covenant was set in 2104. Now, it's very, very important to note that Prometheus, the mission itself, set off its maiden voyage 2 years from Earth. So that started its maiden voyage in 2091. It was a 2-year journey to the moon LV-223. Now, the Alien FX series, this is said to be a prequel to the events of Alien. And the timeline for it is a little bit blurry, but we did have a fantastic piece of information from the FX chief John Landgraf in 2022. So, 2 years ago. John Landgraf shared an update at the TCA Winter Panel, and he said the following, and I quote, "Alien takes place before Ripley. It's the first story that takes place in the Alien franchise on Earth. So it takes place on our planet, right near the end of this century we're in. So 70 odd years from now. Ripley won't be a part of it or any of the other characters of Alien other than the alien itself." And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That starts to narrow down our timeline. And it got my brain turning. Now John Landgraf, did state 70 odd years from now. But to put this into context with respect to the Alien franchise, the Alien universe, it becomes difficult to say 70 odd years from now. Towards the end of the century makes much more sense. Much more sense. Why? Well, in the FX Alien series, Weyland-Yutani has Xenomorph specimens aboard a vessel that crashes into planet Earth. We know this, we've seen concept art of this. Now, if you're going to take 70 odd years from now, that puts it at 2092, which is actually, a year before the events of Prometheus and 1 year after they set sail to the moon of LV-223. But let's say that this isn't 70 odd years, it's just 70 and a bit. Let's put it at 2096, for instance. And let's explain how that could possibly be. And that is still 70 odd years from now. It's not that far. So it's pretty close, isn't it? And it is towards the end of the century. Well, we actually have to explain this, we actually have to go back to the end of Prometheus. And what happened at the end of Prometheus. Obviously, following Peter Weyland's meeting with God, as it were, and Dr. Elizabeth Shaw and David, the android, leaving the planet of LV-223 in the Juggernaut, Dr. Elizabeth Shaw sends a transmission home. Again, she does this in 2094, on New Year's Day, January. And she says the following, and I quote, "Final report of the vessel Prometheus. This ship and her entire crew are gone. If you are receiving this transmission, make no attempt to come to its point of origin. There's only death here now, and I'm leaving it behind. It is New Year's Day, the year of our Lord 2094. My name is Elizabeth Shaw, last survivor of the Prometheus, and I'm still searching." So, she does send a transmission home. She does send a message back to Weyland-Yutani. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go into the theory and speculative nature. But bear with me, because I think it does make sense. And yes, it is headcanon, and yes, it is just a fun theory video. But again, I do think it makes sense. Now, your founder, Peter Weyland, very clearly believes enough in this mission to head out into the stars. He believes enough because he's on death's door. He wouldn't attend this mission unless he believed that he was going to meet his maker, because he's going to die otherwise. You know, this puts him at great risk. So he heads out. This is a shrewd, highly intelligent businessman. Someone who has amassed so much wealth, he essentially controls planet Earth. I believe if he genuinely thinks he is about to meet his maker, and he's going to go off on this 2-year journey, he would absolutely have had a backup ship coming with him. Why? Well, there's a few things there. One, just to actually have backup. He couldn't do this on the vessel of Prometheus because it would have compromised his anonymity aboard the mission. But he can bring a backup. It's only 2 years. It's only a 2-year journey. So a few things. That ship either arrived on LV-223 after the events of Prometheus. And there's a few reasons why it would have arrived. Backup, maybe to gather samples, a larger ship to take back artifacts. There's all manner of reasons why a larger ship and another ship would have come in handy for this. And I think we can all agree on that at the very least. Because the Prometheus looked a bit like a dropship. It wasn't that big. So he then, you know, sends off a much larger vessel, a bit of a recon sort of vessel, I guess. And that ship either lands on LV-223 or on its journey, it picks up the derelict signal on LV-426, because it's quite close to LV-223, and something which then they go and explore. Similar events to Alien occur, and that ship autopilots back to planet Earth. And if you're plotting out that timeline, if Weyland-Yutani's backup vessel left at the same time, or even 6 months after, the ship itself would get back to Earth in roughly 2096, roughly 2097, the exact timeline that the Alien FX series is set. Because we know now, we know unequivocally that prior to the events of Alien, Weyland-Yutani knew of the Xenomorph's existence. It is on planet Earth. Now, the events of the Alien FX series, subsequent human attacks, etc., that can all be dealt with by megacorporations with enough power to grease palms and burn down elements of townships and any humans that come into contact with it. That can all be removed. So there's no continuity breaking in terms of the wider populace not being aware of the Xenomorph. That's not any sort of universe-crushing element of canon there. But we do know that Weyland-Yutani knew of it. We knew that. The ship lands, it crashes in the Alien FX series timeline. We've seen it from concept art. And so I believe actually this adds another layer to a larger fan theory, which was Weyland-Yutani Corporation knew all about LV-426. They knew it was there. They knew the alien was there. And they went and sent another person there to grab it. Why? Because again, actually, and that fits perfectly, I think, with the timeline. The events of Alien Covenant happen, which is obviously, you know, another element. David sends a transmission back home. That's in 2104, which is, I mean, that's not that much after the events of the FX series, if we're putting it at 2096, 2097. And then the events of Alien are some time after. It is in 2122. But we know that they've already been doing deep space mining missions at that stage. You know, some 20 years after the events of Alien Covenant. So it makes a lot of sense, actually. One failed mission. We don't know how long the events of Alien FX series happen. It could span over a good few years, actually. And then, again, they send people out in Alien to go and grab another specimen. There's all manner of things that I think work in terms of the headcanon. But the primary thing here is Weyland-Yutani knew of the Xenomorph's existence. And I think it explains that Peter Weyland is a much more shrewd man than we're led to believe. He had a backup plan. Because the Prometheus mission only took 2 years. It was a 2-year voyage. So anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Timeline explained, I guess, to some degree, but also Weyland-Yutani were always aware of the Xenomorph. What do you think to the theory? Let me know down below. Again, just a bit of fun headcanon. What do you think? Cheers guys, take care, bye bye now.